Welcome to Becoming the Sun with Jowita. I am so happy that you're here. Goodness, where do I even get started? Let me just introduce the podcast. It's been a couple of months. I've had a little hiatus, so I need to get myself acclimated. So this, if you are new here, is a podcast where we talk about all the ways that we can illuminate our lives and the lives of others through empowering topics such as consciousness, overcoming obstacles, energy healing, honoring our intuition, self-love, metaphysics, and much more. My intention with each episode is to open your heart and mind to new ideas and perspectives to ultimately help you view life from a lens of love rather than fear. So, let's dive in. I can't stop smiling. I'm so excited. So, okay. Yesterday was November 19th, and it was officially the dawning of the Age of Aquarius. Pluto moved into Aquarius, and apparently it's one of the most significant astrological events of our time. This transit only happens once every 248 years. Therefore, the next 20-year cycle will redefine our world. And I don't know about you, baby boo, but I have been feeling this in my bones. I have been feeling over the last several weeks such a shift, and I feel like the energy is lighter, and I feel like things are becoming better incrementally. The energy just feels better. So what a time to be alive. Oh my goodness. So there are some really beautiful things we're going to talk about in this episode. It's going to be very empowering. I want to leave you feeling bright and light and empowered and excited about the future. And also that you're in the driver's seat, babe. You are in the driver's seat. You are a creator. You are already whole and perfect. And we're going to just eliminate little by little every limiting belief that we carry because those thoughts and feelings no longer serve us. So yeah, what a time to be alive. And I just want to share some beautiful words from one of my favorite spiritual teachers, Erin Lyons, that she had shared yesterday regarding this astrological shift. She says, "You are the ancestor who will tell stories of the old world and how we watched it all burn to the ground." This is an exciting new era. Pluto governs destruction, transformation, and what is hidden coming to light. Aquarius is the innovator and expander of societal constructs, technology, and information. The energy of Pluto will harmonize with the zodiac of Aquarius to disrupt global and collective areas of dormant growth and evolution. We will witness massive planetary advancement within our own consciousness, way of life, and intergalactic communications. And what we can do is to work with these potent energies to dismantle every false thought we ever had about ourselves to activate our personal cycle of rebirth. Isn't that beautiful? She's just amazing. So that is the theme, babe. First, I just want to say, like, we are already whole. We are already perfect. We are already divine. We already have God within us. And just like Rumi says, your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all of the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. And that's exactly what I feel this Age of Aquarius is inviting us to do. And what a potent time we are in, because we're literally going to be quantum leaping into our highest version. And the main questions that I have for this moment is, what would make your inner 10-year-old so proud? How can you show up every day to make yourself proud? And pondering throughout the day, what is really important in my life? We're told, if we cut out all the noise of what's going on in the world and just focus on our day-to-day and our vision for ourselves, what is really important in our life? And really basking in that and finding those solutions and leaning towards what makes us happy and what makes us feel good and what relationships are nourishing to us. And just to rewind a little bit, this is my first episode in months. I have been in this like weird, funky, creative rut, and I'm not one of those people that likes to create something if I'm not feeling it. I can't be fake. I've been on this spiritual path for the last several years. I want to say like I really started back in 2019 is when it really began to hit, and I really began to descend into the depths of my soul. And what I've recognized throughout these years is just how many limiting beliefs that I have about myself, about life, about how life should be, about people. And slowly, it's like peeling the layers of an onion. I've been able to kind of rewrite certain thoughts that I had about many areas of my life and many areas of how I feel about the world. And I know that's really vague, but it's so nuanced. And basically, what I'm trying to say is that these last several months have been very difficult for me because I've been feeling very scared and really worried about putting myself out there and being seen. It's crazy. And I have friends tell me all the time, like, Jowita, I could never tell that you are nervous or that you ever have these insecurities because when you show up on camera or in the podcast, like you're very bright and you're very confident. And that to me means a lot because and it's not like I put on a facade. I am who I am. But then once I like create something or if I post something, sometimes I'll have those thoughts come in of like, oh gosh, I wonder what people are going to think of this. I wonder what so and so from my past from 10 years ago. So silly. The person that doesn't know me, the version that I am now. And that's the funny thing with personal growth. And obviously, if you're listening to this podcast, you're on the path of like the personal growth path of like recognizing all of the things within us that are like unfavorable, the limiting beliefs, the insecurities, the silly worthiness types of conversations that we have, or the feelings of unworthiness rather. And when you really begin to dismantle those things, it's all just our ego trying to protect us. And sometimes we just get in our own way. But there's room for all of it. There's room for feeling scared and doing it anyway. and and having that thought of, okay, you know what? I'm going to create this, whatever project that you're interested in creating. And even if it doesn't land with everyone, you can't control. And that's the thing. Oh gosh, this is the major theme that I've had in my life is the feeling of what will so and so think? And I hope I don't offend this person, or I hope I don't shine too brightly and make this person uncomfortable. But I'm in that space, babe, where I don't even care anymore. The thing is that when you show up with 100% authenticity and you show up as yourself, you're following the path of what you feel in your soul you should do. If there is ever anyone or anything that gets in the way of that, or that belittles you, or makes you feel less than, or makes you feel inadequate because you're choosing to show up and shine, that only means that those people are not meant to be on the path. They're not meant to be on the journey with you. And I feel that that's, especially for me, something that's been very difficult is letting go of people who not only knew that former version of who I was, but also benefited from that version of who I used to be. Back in the day, I was always the type to be like the people pleaser and to do things that people wanted me to do. I would say yes to things when I really in my heart would not feel like I wanted to do those things. And later I would regret it, and I would have this like sinking feeling in my heart about certain actions I would take or conversations I would have, like low vibe, just combative, icky conversations. And now in reflection, I think back and we have to forgive ourselves, first of all, because we're always constantly evolving and growing, and nothing is ever a mistake. There's always lessons. And I say this all the time, there's always lessons in every single thing that we go through. And it's up to us to extract the meaning from those lessons. Because we so easily could look at something and be like, that was a really crappy situation, and that's it. We just turn away from it and never reflect back on, wait a minute, although it was painful or although it was uncomfortable, what did I learn from this? Even if it's just learning, wow, I can't be around this person anymore because I literally feel like my energy feels so constrictive and I feel so small when I'm around them. That's the biggest lesson that we can get from something is, okay, I'm removing my presence from this individual or from this environment because it no longer serves me. And then also knowing that we're constantly evolving, certain things that may have given you so much joy in the past, you might not have any interest in anymore. Like our interest and what we like and dislike is constantly changing. And we just need to be that flow of like imagining a stream. We need to be like water and just allow ourselves to flow in and out of the things that we love, that we used to love, that we no longer like, allowing ourselves to drift to the parts that our soul wants to experience, because everything is also a learning experience. Everything is here to teach us something absolutely valuable. There's no such thing as mistakes, because in each mistake lies a gift as the form of a lesson for growth and expansion, or to provide us a piece of knowledge that we will need one day in the future. I believe that that is very important to keep that in the back of one's mind. Let's talk about something really important. I want you to walk away from this podcast episode being very mindful of two things: what feels expansive and what feels constrictive. Allow me to elaborate. So, practicing discernment is something that I've just recently, within the last several years, actually began to understand. Like when someone says, just use your discernment, like what does that mean? To me, it means identifying within your body what it feels like continually to be around certain people and to be around certain environments. And when you're speaking, the way that when the words escape your lips, how do they feel? All of these things. Does it feel expansive, for example, to be around this person? Does your heart feel open? Do you feel excited? Do you feel gleeful? Are you cheerful? Are you motivated? Do you feel that this person is adding value to your life? Or do you feel like constrictive? Do you feel small? Do you feel like you can't really speak up and shine because you're really worried about not only what they'll think, but perhaps comments that they'll make that are belittling? And environments. What environments do you go to that you feel so good and you could feel like yourself? And what words do you speak that make you feel good versus the words that make you feel small and constrictive? And it's always in alignment with love versus fear, or love versus pain. The feelings and the people and the environments that make you feel in love with life. This is the best hack that I have for everyone. The best thing you can do is to go to that direction. Go into that direction, and it might feel foreign sometimes because with trauma, when we are entranced in a certain dysfunctional dynamic, I know this very personally based on things that I have been going through the last several years with individuals in my past that I decided to separate myself from, because my soul was literally, I would be around them and I would feel so angry. I would be around them and I would feel resentment and bitterness, and I never understood why. And so I would do the thing that we sometimes do and just ignore it and be like, I don't know why I'm angry around this. I don't know why, but I'm just going to keep going to it because it's familiar. Because it's familiar. It's what I know. But once you can pluck yourself out of that environment for any period of time, what happened to me and what typically happens is like this awareness will begin to descend into your consciousness, and you'll be like, wow, I never recognized how dysfunctional this dynamic was because I was so entranced in it. That's why they say love is blind. And you don't even have to be referring to romantic relationships, friendships, relationships with your employer or with your employee or with, you know, anyone. You could be so entranced in a toxic loop of communication and behavior that until you actually pluck yourself out, which is painful, let's talk about that. Even if something is painful, if it's familiar, when we pull ourselves out of that, there is so much pain that can result from that, to the point where we even question our own sanity and ask ourselves, okay, I'm obviously doing something wrong because this person isn't feel healthy for me, but it also doesn't feel good to remove myself. No, remove yourself, because that is just the unfamiliar. That is just your ego trying to keep you safe, and the ego does what's familiar. Your heart wants what is the best for you. And so with practicing discernment, it's listening to your heart versus your head. And I shared a post the other day on my stories on social media, on Instagram the other day regarding this. So the art of surrendering involves the most beautiful yet resistant journey you will ever be asked to embark on: the descent from the head to the heart. The requirements are to release the ego, release the identity that you work so tirelessly to defend, drop your defenses entirely, and allow the remembrance of who you truly are to delicately cascade over you. You are the embodiment of the divine, eternal, immaculate, whole, temporarily in a human vessel. You are a spark of God in human form. You are a creator. Your soul is ancient, and inside of your heart lies all the answers you seek. Take the journey. And this is just a beautiful illustration of what it means to practice discernment. Descending from the head to the heart. And I've shared before as well on how beautiful our mind is and how many miraculous tasks it is able to perform, and allowing us to process and analyze data. It's absolutely incredible. But what the heart really, or what the head really can't do, is feel into what's for our highest good. It just knows what's familiar. Our head knows what's familiar, and it knows what's going to keep us safe. But it also knows what you previously went through that may have created pain. So it just tries to keep you safe from things that your heart is telling you to take a leap on. So it's really important. And this is going to be different for every single person. But I think that once you can begin even placing your hand on your heart and closing your eyes and taking several deep breaths, that it's an emotional, psychological regulation tool. In that exact moment when you're feeling frustrated, just do that. Place your hand on your heart, close your eyes, and just ask yourself, like, what is this trying to tell me? What do I need to know? And not only is it that your heart is communicating with you, never forget that we have an entire team of angels and guides that are assigned to us for our life, that are here to assist us in the unseen realms. So know that you have those tools. And in regards to taking this quantum leap into our highest version and using this Age of Aquarius to our benefit, I have some questions for you. Feel free to pause this podcast if you'd like, to write them down, or answer along in your head as I ask these questions. But these are just 5 questions that I feel are really great for this new age. And simply just reflecting on them will activate DNA in areas that are necessary to help your expansion. So, question number 1. If you wrote a letter to your future reinvented self, what would it say? What would your aspirations be? And you could pause if you want to ponder that, but I'll go on to the next question now. Number 2, if you were creating a new you from scratch, what qualities and behaviors would be must-haves? Number 3, what new hobbies or interests are you interested in learning on your transformation journey? So often we can find ourselves stuck in like the same routine. We obviously have, the 3D world, and we have to focus on life and earning a living, and if we have a family, taking care of our family. But don't forget that there are always opportunities, even 5 to 10 minutes a day, where you can invest in yourself. So what is it that you have been in the back of your mind or in your heart wanting to do? Like, what new hobbies are you interested in? And know that you're being led to those things because there's something there for you. So ponder that one. That one's a really good one. Number 4, are there people in your life who would have an issue with you trying to better yourself? How would you deal with these people? And the last question is, imagine you were standing face to face with your future self. What encouraging words do you think he or she would have for you? Isn't that lovely? Allow yourself to ponder that just for another moment. Pause if you need to. Reflect if you need to. If you're feeling called, definitely write these questions down and do a little self-inquiry, because I think that it's so powerful when we just give ourselves a few moments to really delve into our hearts and to listen to what our soul is trying to tell us. So I hope all of those questions landed well with you and allowing you to do a little bit of self-reflection. Ultimately, we're here to live our purpose. We're here to do the things that our soul signed up to do. On this earth, we are here to live our purpose. And I feel the purpose of life is to serve from our highest authenticity and joy. So really tapping into what makes me so happy, and how can I allow myself to express my creativity in a way that feels exciting and feels fun. And every day making choices, regardless of how seemingly insignificant they may seem, they're building blocks, they're puzzle pieces. Each day, just extending a little bit of kindness to ourselves in ways that are nourishing, I think is so extremely valuable. So I hope you take away from this episode that, babe, we are on a powerful trajectory. And like Aaron Lyon said, we are the ancestors who will tell stories of the old world and how we watched it all burn to the ground. We are here to build a new earth, and through each action we take, through each conversation we have, through each smile we extend to someone, whether it's a stranger or a loved one, don't underestimate your impact on this planet. You're here for a reason, and I'm so grateful to be living alongside you during this time. So thank you so very much for listening to this episode. I love you. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll see you soon.